Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we want to take a look at Toxtricity. This Pokemon actually was really nice. I climbed quite a bit with this team here, and so far while I tried out the Toxtricity in other kind of metas before, it was kinda underwhelming, I have to say. But in this meta, this Pokemon definitely has quite some unique play, being able to basically beat nearly every single type currently that is in this meta. Like, there's no type I think that currently is really difficult for this Pokemon, other than I guess like ground type Pokemon. Of course, ground type Pokemon are a bit tricky. You have the Quagsire and you have the Garchomp as basically the only ground type Pokemon, but basically everything else is going to be totally fine here. And honestly, this team was really nice to play. We see here as well the opponent's Garchomp coming back in. You're going to be able to swap out into our own Credilli, knock them out in time. The Grass Knot easily is going to be enough to knock them out, of course, double super effective. And now let's see what the opponent is going to do here. They decide to forfeit. So let's see what the next opponent is going to have here. We're going to have the Alolan Golem, and we swap out straight away against this team. And we're going to have here, sadly, the opponent swapping into their Amoonguss. Amoonguss can take two of those rock sides, which is going to be a very difficult one because they're going to be able to realign themselves. But this gives me opportunity maybe later on if they're forced to go for another charge move to get some extra farm with my Toxtricity, which might be a cool play, but also we were able to get out the grass type Pokemon, so our Garchomp doesn't have to face this Pokemon later on, which I guess is going to be also quite cool. As you see as well, I'm gonna snipe the opponent. I didn't really want them to go for their own charge move anymore, and I can go for the power punch spam now against the opponent's Golem here. And unless they're going to have another grass type Pokemon in the back, we should be in a very solid spot. I still decide to use a shield here though, because I kinda thought I would be able to outspeed them, which I am not going to be able to do. And so Rock Blast is coming through again, and we can see that they have the Decidueye in the back, and we have only resisted hits. But luckily we didn't swap out into our Garchomp because we really needed to get this Wild Charge off, and thanks to the boost, it was actually enough to knock them out, and we can now win this battle. They still had a shield left there, but they didn't think that this would do as much damage, I guess. We all see here the Kingdra in the lead. Kingdra is by far the best Pokemon. By the way, what do you feel about this cup, by the way? Here's the awkward thing about this cup. It's still gonna be there for another week afterwards, and we only have Master League other than this cup, so I'm curious on what I'm gonna do for the next week. Next week going to be very difficult. After that, we're going to have, I think, all leagues available again as well, and I think we even have like a Go Battle week with that as well. We can do even more sets, so it's going to be exciting. But yeah, definitely let me know down below what you feel about this cup right now, and also what team are you running? Would be very interesting for me. Power Whip here is going to be quite an awkward one, but we're at least going to be able to align ourselves. We can't take any hit here. Everything is going to be resisted, even though it doesn't look like it. It is going to be a bit of an awkward matchup here as well with the Kingdra, because they have the option to debuff us. If they debuff us, it's basically game over immediately here. Let's see what it's going to be. It's going to be the debuff. It's just, like, that's the thing as well. They definitely got a little bit unlucky as well with the debuffs this time around, but there were different videos where I was really lucky with the debuffs, so I guess it's kind of fair. Here we're sadly going to lose this battle now, because, like, what am I going to do here? I can use a shield again. I don't use a shield. I'm just going to go, and Toxtricity has not really enough firepower to knock out two Pokemon, while still two shields are at play here. We still try our best here though with the Power Punch. This is going to allow us to get the shield from the opponent. We can still reach one Wild Charge, but I highly doubt that they're going to let the move go through if they have the option to go for a shield here. And so sadly it's going to be a loss. Let's see how the next opponent is going to play against me. It's going to be a Toxapex in the lead, and honestly I misplayed this quite a bit. I don't know why I did this. Yeah, now I can catch move here that is not going to do a lot of damage, but I have to hope that they're going to swap out, and they decide to swap out, and they decide to swap out into a Charger Bug. That is quite a bit weird, I would say, because now we can just go ahead and go for another Rock Slide and do some solid damage. So I'm quite happy about this one, as the opponent should have now two Exodus. One Exodus is not going to be enough to knock us out. They can go for another one, but I rather decide to use a shield here because I know I'm gonna be fine here anyway. I'm gonna be able to go for another Rock Slide, and I would either be able to get the shield or get the knockout anyway. And as you'll see, we kind of have now the alignment, which is going to be great, especially seeing that what they have in the back here with the Marowak, because I really would like to have my Gaston against the Marowak, and so I'm kind of happy about how this all kind of plays out. Decide to no shield, that was a little bit of a misplay, I would say. But at the end of the day, we can now swap back into our Toxtricity. I can go for a double Wild Charge. I know that the opponent should be energy dry at this point of time. And so this should get both shields from the opponent. And they're still going to be forced to go for another charge move against me. They can maybe go ahead and overfarm by a little bit, but it's not going to work out for them at all. As we now should have access to the move Earth Power. And I think Earth Power should be enough from this range for sure. It is a stab move, it is super effective, and also we still even have another Body Slam start, which we can use against the opponent's Marowak here, so this is going to be enough to knock them out as well, and this is going to be it for this battle, and we can move on to the next opponent. We are getting closer to the expert rank as well. Of course, I did not play the game for like 1.5 weeks this season as well, because I was on vacation and now I'm a bit sick. I don't redo all my battles currently as well. So I'm a little bit behind on what I would like to be, but honestly, there are not that many legend teams yet and legend people anyway yet, because I saw like even the leaderboards don't even go up to 3,000, so I'm actually only 100 points away from the leaderboards currently, which is quite nice, like 150 or something. So I'm not even that far behind, even though I didn't even play for quite a long time, and I'm playing some spicier stuff here each day, so I can make some nice content for you. But yeah, as you'll see here, we're going to be able to go for the full farm down against the opponent's Galvantula, and we will see as well that the opponent is going to go into their Kingdra, and I can go for 2 wild charges most likely. First one is coming through. Oh, never mind, I can only go for 1 wild charge because the opponent just decides to sacrifice their Pokemon there. We're going to have the Gaston now against the opponent's Talonflame. And we decided to let the move go through, because even the Brave Bird is not going to be enough to knock us out, and so now we're going to have 2 Body Slams stored for them. And this is going to force the shield, but also going to get them insanely low, and low enough hopefully as well that a Power Punch, which I have already stored on my Toxtricity, is going to be enough to knock them out. This looks like it's literally the range for it, and so this is going to be it for this battle as well. We're going to be able to get the KO, and we can move on to the next opponent. Dugong in the lead. It's a guessing game here. You're going to be able to outspeed them with the Wild Charge usually, but at this point we're gonna decide to go for the bait. Let's see if they're gonna call it. They sadly are going to call it, and that's gonna make it a little bit more difficult for us. As we will see here, shield coming up from Toxtricity, Icy Wind is coming through from the opponent, and we're gonna try our best to go for another big Wild Charge here. This is going to allow us to get the KO. And let's see, the opponent is going to swap out into the Kingdra. So we have a shield disadvantage, we have switch disadvantage, but we should be able to get the shields back here anyway with our Credilli. As the Grass Knot is coming through, I can still get to another Grass Knot, especially I think even if they're going to go for the Octazooka here, but they decide to go for the full farm now, which is a very smart play. They're now 2 shields down, but that's the thing as well with Kingdra. Like, unless you have a Fairy type Pokemon, which there are only really like 2 or 3 good ones, there's nothing that can really take the hits from the Kingdra. And I decided to call the bait, and that worked out really well for me, as this is definitely just the bait now, but I kind of have to use a shield at this point because Octazooka did a little bit too much damage. And they're sadly going to reveal here that they're going to have the Charge Bug in the back, and you see me here giving the opponent a free fast move. And this one free fast move actually might have mattered a little bit, because then, I don't know, maybe I could have done a little bit more fast move pressure against the opponent. I'm not too sure about it. Exodus coming through. I don't think it really mattered. I think we would have lost no matter what. And so that's fine. We're going to be able to now move on to the next opponent. Let's see who we have here. We're going to have a Talonflame against us. That's going to be an interesting matchup for sure as well. We're going to try our best to go for that Power Punch, and you see here a little bit of a lag coming in. I went for the Power Punch at a normal time, but it went for 1 extra fast move, and this allowed the opponent to catch the move, which is really unfortunate and going to completely change the matchup for me, because now all of a sudden I don't get the shield from the opponent's Talonflame, and also I am now energy down on my lead, which is really annoying. So yeah, this should have never happened like this, but it is what it is. There were some other things today as well, where the game just didn't work out at all, so yeah, I don't know, like today was not the day to play the game, but this might be even something for a different video still, because there's other gameplay that I did where it was even worse than here. But still, generally speaking, it is definitely better than before. If you didn't see my video towards like fixing lag, that definitely helped me by like a lot. Like this definitely completely changed the game for me, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, still there is a little bit of lag currently in the game, but as you see here, we're going to have the Rock Set coming through. That's going to allow us to get the KO against the opponent, and now it's down to Gaston against Gaston in the back. We have A little bit of damage advantage, but the opponent has a little bit of an energy advantage. But to be fair, I'm very certain that the damage advantage is going to be a bit more impactful, because this is going to allow us now to put them into range where we can mud slap them down after this Earth Power here as well. And this is looking really, really favorable for us. And yeah, we can still go for the full farmland and win this battle. So, at this point, I would actually really appreciate if you could leave a like on the video as well. I really appreciate, by the way, you spending your time watching me going for a grassland against a Pokemon where it's double resisted. Good job, me. No, but like, seriously, appreciate it if you watch my content as well until this point as well still. I know currently the week is not going to be too interesting, and next week we have Master League, so that's going to be crazy. But it is what it is. I don't know, like, I feel like, I don't know, it's since the XL update and since like the last few changes or something like this, I feel like as soon as it's not the Open Great League, people are really losing interest, but also mainly down to, I think, the meta itself. I don't think the meta is that enjoyable currently for a lot of kind of the metas that we had. And the main reason I feel like is always that you have like those crazy bulky Pokemon on top of it all, and it's always kind of the same, it's always kind of Toxa packs everywhere, stuff like this. I don't know. I feel like it's definitely, I feel like there needs to be a structural change as well to PvP, I have to say, definitely. Yeah, by the way, there are games where you're also just gonna get completely hard-rolled that you can just forfeit here, like I do. It just happens. This battle was a bit annoying for me, because I had actually a good lead here as well, but this all depends kinda on how this matchup is gonna go here. Well, let's see on how this is gonna go. It's gonna be a body slam coming through, and I should have, maybe, nah. Actually, I would have been the best play, I think, to let the move go through here, because I can go ahead and go into my Credilli and get a ton of energy here now for free, kinda. That's gonna be okay. We have Rock Slide still for the opponent's Tropius, and now we just have to hope there's something in the bag that we can deal with, also with our Toxtricity. Toxtricity is a great core breaker for the current meta. This Pokemon has so much potential, but not against a Marowak. Marowak is going to be basically the worst possible Pokemon I could imagine here right now. Power Punch at least gonna get the shields. I can and have to use another shield here as well, but I also have to kind of get the opponent lower, because a Rock Slide is not going to be enough from this range anymore. To the point where I feel like Stone Edge Credilli would actually make a lot of sense in the current meta, because just of how little damage you do with the Rock Slide nowadays. It's kind of, I mean, I don't know, like, that's the thing as well. I feel like maybe Niantic changed a little bit too much sometimes, like with a big update the last time around. I feel like a lot of people are kind of like, what's the point? A lot of my Pokemon that are built are just not having any play at all anymore. I feel like maybe it was a bit too much even. Like, I do agree with kind of like some of the nerfs as well with it, like counter or whatever. Like, it's cool to have a different meta. But then again, there are like so many Pokemon that got quite significant nerfs that were really good before the entire time, where people invested a lot of Stardust into. I don't know, I definitely see it more on this side now as well nowadays. Anyway, we're going to have Charjabug against us here. Charjabug is going to be fine for us. We're going to have here the Extra coming through. And we're going to still try to go for a Wild Charge. Here's the awkward thing. I'm just kind of a little bit of an idiot sometimes. I should have just stayed in here. Just stayed in, fully farmed them down. Would have been fine. But now I take a super effective X-Scissor instead. And that was not really the smartest play, I would say. But at least we're going to still be able to go for another Rock Slide. But the opponent most likely going to play it perfectly and just goes for 4 more fast moves here. Overfarms by quite a lot. And wins this, like this, let's not say CMP tie, like the opponent went for the charge move, one fast turn before I go for my charge move. One turn is 0.5 seconds, by the way, for the people who are wondering about this. So fast move like Poison Jab here is going to take 2 turns, so 1 second each time you want to use it. But yeah, it's kind of weird that like a turn is a half a second for like the people who don't really know that. But yeah, anyway, we're going to see a Feraligatr as a shiny and as a non-shadow. That's going to be an interesting matchup. I hope that they're going to use a shield here against the Body Slam. I would assume that if they use a shield here, they're going to try to catch the move very soon as well, because I kind of need to get rid of my Gastrodon, and I cannot... Oh, I actually go for the Body Slam here straight away. I don't even want to risk anything. I'm just going to hope that my other boy is going to be able to win this one, I guess, for me, which is going to be my Toxtricity, of course. But it's going to be a very close matchup. Let's see on how this is going to go here. Hydro Cannon is coming through, and we're going to see as well that the Charjabug is going to go down, and we have the Feraligatr going to go down as well. And that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.